Welcome to the Ville, Yankeeville. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's David here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, I hope you like the video. And if you do, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we hope to see you back on the channel. But today, we're going to be discussing Carlos Lagrange and Elmer Rodriguez. What is their future looking like? Obviously, we've been rumored to see them come up at some point. There are latest two arms in AAA that are knocking on the MLB door. But as far as their talent level and their production, what does it really look like for them in the future on the Yankees? Obviously, Elmer Rodriguez in the 2025 season, he actually played on 3 levels in the minors for us. He was in high A, double A, triple A. He had an 11-8 record with 26 games started, 150 innings pitched, 176 strikeouts, 56 walks with a 2.58 ERA and a 1.073 whip. Very unique situation for a young arm like Elmer Rodriguez. He went through all 3 levels in the same year. So obviously he has the talent. You don't go through all 3 levels in one season if you don't have that arm talent and the command of the strike zone at an early age like he does. So it's very good to see him command the strike zone. He actually throws pretty hard as well. He throws 96, 97 on the sinker. So that's really good to see. And I'm really excited on his development and kind of what he's going to look like when he does eventually get to the big leagues. But Elmer Rodriguez, some of his profile, he's 22 years old. He's 6'3", 160 pounds. So he's a tall, lanky guy. So as we know, some of the best pitchers in the league are the tall, lanky guys because they have a deceptive delivery, different arm slots. It looks very interesting to a hitter's eye when it comes out of that arm slot of someone that's very lanky like that. Obviously, we know one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Randy Johnson, at 6'10", with that super long arm. It's very hard to pick up when you're getting a delivery like that coming downhill from such a tall pitcher. Obviously, he's not to the degree of Randy Johnson, but he's 6'3". I think that's a pretty tall pitcher for the league. But obviously, he's a major league pitcher, major league ready pitcher. He's a control pitcher. He limits home runs. He only has 12 home runs in his entire minor league career in 4 seasons. That's very, very elite. A lot of guys, obviously in the majors, the talent pool is a lot higher. So guys give up 12, 13, 14 home runs in a season. In the minors, he only gave up 12. That's really, really good to see translating to the big leagues. Obviously, he's going to give up more home runs as he plays better talent. But when you're in the minors playing against lesser talent, we really want to see the home run number be limited. So 4 and 12, or 12 and 4 seasons is really, really good. But as far as Elmer Rodriguez and some of his stats and his profile, obviously we traded for him back in 2025. He was part of the Carlos Narvaez deal. And like I said before, he went through all 3 levels in our minor league system last year. But as far as high A and double A, he started about 25 games. He had a very good ERA in both. He had a 2.26 in high A and a 2.64 in double A. Combined, he had 11-7 record. So that's really, really good from him. He only gave up 3 home runs between high A and double A. And he only started 1 game. Or actually, he only started 1 game in AAA when he did come up. So that's a very small sample size for AAA, which is where he will be profiled to start the season. He only pitched a 5-inning game. He gave about 4 runs, so that ERA kind of inflated off of a 1-game sample size. But as far as the rest of his minor league career, obviously he was drafted to the Red Sox at 18 years old, and he has always had a good ERA in the minors. He's only had 1 season, or 1 part of the season at high A where he had a 3.7 ERA. So this guy has really commanded the strike zone, limited runs, and he's a guy that's a pretty reliable arm. I mean, for his whole entire minor league career, he has a 2.59 ERA. With 70 games started, he's thrown 333 innings, only 142 walks, and 371 strikeouts. So I think that's pretty good numbers from him. And we're hoping to see a little more from him as he comes up in the majors in the next year or two. But like we talked about before, Elmer Rodriguez, we saw him in action a little bit earlier in spring training. He pitched a game. He actually pitched the first game of the spring training season. So he pitched 3 innings. He had 3 hits. He didn't give up any runs, and he struck out 1 guy. It's a pretty good first outing in spring training. Obviously, there were a lot of eyes on the spring training game because it was the first one, and I think he didn't disappoint. Elmer Rodriguez, really excited for him. I don't know when he is going to come up because we do have a lot of arms in AAA and in the minors. I mean, AAA and in the majors right now. So I think it's going to be about if the time really lines up for him. Now, the next promising guy, as everyone is very excited about, Carlos Lagrange, the big 6'7" Dominican player, and he is a talent. In the 2025 season, he was in high A and double A. He had 11-8 win-loss with 23 games started, 120 innings pitched, 168 strikeouts, 62 walks, 3.53 ERA with the 1.2 whip. Carlos Lagrange is one of those talents that you really need to watch. He's a big guy that has a lively arm. Like I said before, he's a 6'7" pitcher, very young guy, and that fastball is electric. There's been rumors on what do the Yankees really want to do with the arm like that. Like we talked about before, the Yankees don't really have a lot of guys that throw 100 plus. They don't have a lot of guys that are flamethrowers like to the degree of a Carlos Lagrange. Obviously, he's been parallel to like a Dylan Besantis, and that profile is pretty similar. But as far as Carlos Lagrange, I think he's going to stay as a starter. I mean, you could obviously transition him in the future, kind of like what we did or what the A's did with Mason Miller. So it's definitely not ruled out. He has the great arm with the great fastball, and we're definitely going to see what the Yankees do with him as he comes up. But as far as his profile, like I said before, he's 22 years old, 6'7", 248 pounds. He's a power pitcher. He tops out at 103 on the 4-seam, and he has a power slider. Carlos Lagrange, very elite stuff. I think right now it's just about honing in on the command and the control. There was his interview at the end of the spring training game that he pitched the other day, where they asked him what is he really working on in this game, and it's the command and the control. Obviously, his arm is electric, but kind of what parallels with Luis Hill. Luis Hill also has an electric arm. Obviously, his fastball is not as electric as Carlos Lagrange. I think Luis Hill really tops out at 97, 98. Lagrange could get up to 103, so there's a little bit of a difference. But the two really do have lively arms, but they both suffer with command and control issues. That really comes from being at a young age, working on your craft, working on your pitches as far as like how your command on the ball is. So it really comes with time. So he's definitely going to have that time to work with all of our coaches that we have in the minors, and when he eventually does come up to the majors, we're going to be able to have him work with our pitching coaches like Matt Blake. I think Matt Blake will really have a good time with him, and the canvas is really strong. So he needs the development. So he's definitely going to spend the year in AAA. I don't see the Yankees really rushing him, and we're going to see him eventually in the majors. He's 22 right now. We'll probably see him either when he's 23 or 24, but he's not too far away. But as far as Carlos Lagrange and his pitching stats, obviously we acquired him when he was 19 in 2022. A little bit of a different profile than Elmer Rodriguez, a little bit of more ups and downs, especially that is going to come with a guy with a very electric fastball like that, with command issues and control issues at times. So as we see in 2022, he only started about 10 games. He had a 3 ERA. 2023, his ERA was approaching 5. So that's where you definitely see some of that command and control issues that we talked about. His whip was at almost a 1.4. In 2024, his ERA was in the sixes. That's very, very high. And we do see some of the volatility that we do expect out of some of these lively arm pitchers like this. And we really want to see that number come down. It did start to come down as, you know, we got to the end of 2024. He had a 3.1 ERA. And then 2025, he had a 3.83 in high A. And then in double A, he had a 3.56. So you do see a gradual transition to a lower ERA number. I think it's really good to see him in the threes. But we want to see that a little lower in the minor leagues. We don't want to see him come up in the majors and instantly start having ERAs in the 4s and the 5s, because the command and control issues, kind of like what Luis Hill dealt with. As far as walking guys, we really don't want to see him walk a lot of guys. These walk numbers are definitely higher than Elmer Rodriguez. So you do see some of the differences in the command as far as between the two pitchers. I think Elmer Rodriguez is a little more major league ready to this point, but Carlos Lagrange probably has the better and promising future as he keeps developing those pitches in his arsenal. Now, when it comes to the two, Elmer Rodriguez and Carlos Lagrange, very promising. I'm really excited to see them on the major league team in the next few years, and a lot of fans are, the coaches are, and I think overall, I think it's really good and a testament to the Yankees organization as far as how they can develop pitching, how they can develop catchers, and how they can develop some of the infielders in the organization as well. But I think the biggest thing that we do well in the organization is the pitchers, whether it's bullpen or starters, and some of the catchers that we do have come up. A lot of those guys do make the major league team, and a lot of other teams around the league are very interested in trading him. But I think Elmer Rodriguez and Carlos Lagrange will be seen on the Yankees in the next year or two. Definitely, as you know, obviously there's always a lot of injuries in pitchers, so they aren't that far away. Now, what do you think down below in the comments? Do you see Elmer Rodriguez and Carlos Lagrange really working out when they do come up to the majors? Or do you see them not even making it to the majors? Do you think they will be involved in some kind of trade during the season or during next season as far as for a big arm? But let me know what you think down below. Thank you for checking out the video, and welcome to the Ville, Yankeeville.